Day 13 of 60 in the Cloud Security Challenge. Here's a scenario that should scare you. A compromised CI/CD role gets read access to your S3 bucket full of customer data. What happens next depends entirely on one thing: your KMS setup. If you're using default AWS managed keys, you cannot revoke that role's access, you cannot prove who decrypted what, and you cannot enforce encryption at the policy boundary. Today we fix all three. Let's build a KMS posture you can actually defend in an incident. First, the mental model. Most engineers think their IAM policy is the security boundary. With KMS, it isn't, the key policy is. Every customer-managed key has its own resource policy, and decryption requires both the IAM policy and the key policy to allow it. That's the magic. Even if an attacker compromises a role with broad IAM permissions, the key policy can still say no. Default AWS/S3 managed keys give you encryption theater, data is encrypted, but the key policy is owned by AWS and you can't add a deny. A customer-managed key, a CMK, puts you in control. Let's deploy one with Terraform. We create an AWS_KMS_key resource with enable_key_rotation equals true, so AWS rotates the backing material annually. Then the key policy. Instead of the lazy allow KMS asterisk to account root, we scope it. One statement allows KMS decrypt and KMS generate data key only when AWS principal ARN matches our specific Lambda execution role. Everyone else, including root, gets nothing. This is least privilege at the cryptographic layer. If a principal isn't on the explicit allow list, the math simply won't run for them. Now close the unencrypted upload gap. Encryption at rest is worthless if someone uploads an object that skips KMS entirely. We attach an S3 bucket policy with an explicit deny on S3, put object whenever the condition S3, exam server-side encryption is not AWS, KMS, plus a second check that the AWS, KMS key ID matches our CMK ARN. Now the bucket physically rejects any object not encrypted with our key. App code can't forget to do the right thing, the bucket enforces it. This is the difference between hoping and guaranteeing. What about temporary access without rewriting IAM? That's what grants are for. Using Boto 3, call kms.create_grant scope to a specific EC2 instance ID, granting decrypt for an EBS maintenance window. Run list_grants to see it's active. When the window closes, call retire_grant and the access evaporates. No policy edits, no deploy, fully time-bounded. Grants are perfect for short-lived, principal-specific access that you want to expire cleanly rather than leave lingering in a policy nobody remembers to clean up. Now the incident. Our compromised CI/CD role tries to read the bucket. It assumes the role, calls decrypt, and gets access denied, because that role's ARN was never in our key policy allow list. But how do you prove no data leaked before the block? CloudTrail. Every KMS operation is logged. Run AWS CloudTrail lookup events filtered on the event names decrypt and GenerateDataKey, and scope it to your key ARN. You'll see the attacker's failed attempts logged as access denied, with 0 successful decrypt events. That's not a guess, that's a defensible, court-grade answer to, was the data accessed? One more guardrail for the paranoid. In CloudFormation, add a key policy statement that denies KMS asterisk to all principals when AWS source VEPS is not in your named set of VPC endpoints. Now key usage is bound to your network, independent of IAM. Even a leaked credential used from the open internet can't decrypt anything. The request never originates from an approved endpoint. Defense in depth, identity, encryption, and network all enforcing the same boundary. And for auditing at scale, a quick CLI win: list every key in a region, filter for one's missing rotation, and join each finding to its last use date from CloudTrail so you triage by blast radius first. Day 13 done. The takeaway: with customer-managed KMS keys, the key policy, not your IAM role, is the real security boundary, and CloudTrail makes every decryption auditable and deniable. Subscribe for day 14, where we lock down secrets management.